Good afternoon, this is Jonathan Satofsky of Satofsky Asset Management, April 18th, 2017. And today I'm going to give a video blog update on the Buffett bet and digital technology. So the Berkshire Hathaway conference is coming up in several weeks, and he will highlight his 10-year running bet that started January 1st, 2008. That a passively owned index of the S&P 500 held for 10 years would outperform selected 5 portfolio of hedge funds. And sure enough, through December 31st, 2016, the S&P 500, even after a 55% decline in 2008, 2009, has rebounded and has cumulative gains of close to 85%. While the fund of funds, the 5 funds that were selected by protege partners, are up 20% on average, or 2% a year. So what do we learn? You know, he highlights the idea that people, the patient, inherit the wealth from the hyperactive. So how do we become more patient and have a longer time frame? In fact, Berkshire Hathaway itself, in the last 32 years, has gone through 8 periods of underperformance relative to the S&P by magnitudes of 20 to 59%. So if it wasn't called Berkshire Hathaway and have that ethos, would investors sit still and be patient to hang on for 10 years? Now, people have different time frames and different goals and different circumstances and the like. But our solution that we've been working on the last several years, we've been working on a SAM digital platform in order to try to help people reverse engineer the idea. If you're spending 3%, which is the idea for a retiree, or an endowment would spend 4 to 5% because they don't have to incur the tax liability, you need to cover inflation. And we need to account for the fact that people are going to miss time. They're going to contribute when prices are higher and sell when prices are lower. And there's going to be some behavioral gap that they're going to administer. But if we can digitize the path for them, perhaps we can minimize this gap to some degree so that the gap between investment returns and investment returns is more narrow. And at the end of the day, we want to think about having an ownership mentality and leaning on small, cheap, and profitable companies, which over time have shown the ability to add a lot of value and a lot of wealth over time with that structure. But be mindful of the fact that whatever path you choose, there will be periods of disappointment, either losses or underperformance relative to something. So by digitizing the path, we can try to minimize the friction, like golf analogy, minimize the errors, and keep someone on that path. And then we just have to work on the mindset to help people understand the pleasure-pain principle and get people dialed into a degree that we understand their balance sheet and cash flow and minimize their behavioral mistakes therein. So with that, have a wonderful April and a fabulous spring. Speak soon.